In terms of this AWS, Amazon certification has been concerned, we have 3 verticals. We can go up with the following certifications. One, we can go up as an administrator, cloud administrator, AWS admin. Second, AWS developer. And third one, AWS architect, solution architect. Okay, so in terms of admin, you have 2 levels of certification. One is associate and second one is professional certification. Okay. Amazon certified administrator associate, Amazon certified admin professional. Similarly, for developer, you have associate and professional certification. For solution architect also, you have this professional and associate certification. The curriculum that we are planning is AWS Solution Architect Associate, okay, with some additional contents of AWS Solution Architect Professional. So here, out of these 6 certifications, so the professional certification, here we call this AWS Administrator as SysOps, System Operation, and the professional certification as DevOps. Okay, developer and the operation team togetherly work together. Okay, so that is DevOps. Here the solution architect associate and the solution architect professional. Similarly, this developer associate and developer professional are both the common thing. So this DevOps certification is the same certification. If you opt for a developer, so first you want to complete developer associate, and the second phase you need to go for professional. If you are AWS certified professional for developer, that certification is called as DevOps. Similarly, if the same certification, you will receive the same certification DevOps engineer if you go for admin associate and laterly admin professional. Okay, so out of which you have associate SysOps, then DevOps, then developer associate 3. Once again, this DevOps, both DevOps are same, and solution architect professional is a separate thing, 4, and solution architect, there are togetherly 5 certificates. Here the curriculum that we are going to deal with is solution architect associate, plus apart from that we also deals with this DevOps, okay, admin DevOps. In terms of DevOps has been concerned, our curriculum is associated with open source DevOps tools. All the tools associated with open source. Amazon is having its own DevOps tools like Cloud Trial, Cloud Log, okay, Cloud Audit, and then Cloud Formation. Like it is having its own DevOps tool, whereas the tool that is most widely used compared to that of Amazon DevOps is open source tools. So here we will be dealing with the Git, GitHub. They are all version controlling systems. Then source code building systems, Maven. We will be dealing with Maven. Okay, so we will be dealing with this Ansible, Chef. We will be dealing with this Nagios. We will be dealing in terms of testing, automated testing, Selenium. And we will be dealing with one of the most demanding thing, Dockers and containers. So,
hello Ram, this is Subramanian here.
Yeah.
So regarding the open source tools that you have just listed out,
yeah.
So you will be teaching us how to write codes on it, or how to deploy packages, or it will be a GUI mode or a script mode. What will be teaching?
Each and everything will be CLI mode. Certain thing will be GUI mode. You no need to write any code. So what are all the coding the developer is writing? So to make maintaining the code, source we call this Git and GitHub as a version control system. Okay, so you no need to write any code here. How to make the code save, how to maintain this versioning of those codes, how to compile the code, how to test the code is nothing but DevOps is nothing but doing the task starting from the development until the production in an automated manner. Okay, you no need to write any complex codes. There is no role like a programmer. but you want to write certain thing, but it won't be as complex as a developer. Everything that you need to configure.
Okay. So
Okay.
what will be the actual work of a DevOps
DevOps
professional or an
engineer
associate in a?
used to automate the task. For example, so if you go for a developer, first what you need to do. So if you are assigning a project may be assigned to a team of 10 people. Okay, so each and every module of the project will be taken care by the individual person, or it may be a group of persons. So each and every person want to write the code for that assigned module. Okay. So on day one, Monday he may write one code, and on Tuesday he may write the code with little bit modifications or adding some new features. So second code version 1, code version 2, like each and everyone want to maintain the code. So this code, maintaining the code automatically in a repository can be done by using a tool called as Git and GitHub. Okay, these are all version control system. Okay, so to maintain this source code, what you need to do, you want to configure the GitHub. We want to, GitHub is a repository, Git is a tool, and GitHub is a repository where these codes will be maintained in a distributed manner. So once the code has been done, let me take a file. You have written a class by name Java class, and you have written some business logic on top of it. What do? You need to compile. The source code need to be compiled. So once it is compiled Java C, so somewhat like sample.java. So you will be getting a object code. So the compilation part will be done automatically by Maven. Okay, a compilation. It will, once the developer writes the code, it will be automatically compiled and it will be tested for errors. So once the compilation is successful, what you will do? So automatically it will be applied whether according to our requirement the code is working properly or not. In that sense, it will be applied to some test case. Okay, automated testing. So you will be writing, you will be having some test cases. The code, once it got compiled successfully, will be applied to text case to validate whether the code for what intention it is written satisfies the required need. So this testing need to be done separately by a tester. Okay. Whereas in this case, a DevOps engineer, what he will do, he will simply configure this. Once there is a coding in the repository, automatically Maven, what it will do, it will take the code and it will compile the code and it will take the test case and it will apply the test case to check whether the code is working properly or not. Once everything is perfect, then you will be having a continuous integration using Jenkins. Okay, what Jenkins will do? So you may have some modules already developed. Okay, so the thing that you did on the model, it may be some changes, it may be some modifications, or it may be some additional functionalities might have been added with the models. Okay, so once these additional functionalities, if it is added with the model, it should not affect the existing function of the model. It should not get a conflict with the existing models. So that is integration. Integrating the new model with the existing model, which can be done by using Jenkins. Once you configure Jenkins, if the test is a success, automatically that model will be integrated with the existing model. Then after that, what you need to do? So you want to make a implementation. Okay, so for implementation, you need to go for this chef. In the production, this everything, if it is perfect, then it need to be implemented in the production environment. So automatically this model, fully developed model, will be taken and it will be integrated in the production environment. It can be done by using a tool called Chef, Ansible, Puppet. Your curriculum deals with Ansible and Chef. So here in production, a developer may be developing a code on his own laptop. Okay, so a tester may test his code on a particular machine. A production may, in the real code, need to be implemented in a production. Here all the associated hardware, all the associated softwares, the services that we need should not have a conflict. For example, if a developer developed a code using Java 1.7 with the operating system at Ubuntu 14.04, here it works fine. Whereas in a production, if they have a Ubuntu operating system 16.04, it supports only 1.8. In this case, the code which is developed using JDK 1.7 won't support here. These sort of problems may occur frequently because of So the conflict in the associated softwares and services which was used independently by developer, tester, and production. Therefore, what we need a common system. Okay, we need to form a common image. That image will contain all the needed associated softwares and services configured. From the image, a developer or a tester or a production environment can perform the needed infrastructure implementation. For that, we need to go for this Dockers and containers, one of the most demanding tools, Dockers and containers. Initially, they make use of this virtualization. Using virtual machines, they have incorporated this. So, production, testing, and this all the three, the developers environment will be similar thing. So, once it got implemented in the production, then we need to do some monitoring on top of it. Then whether the particular software is functioning, whether it is having any issues, okay, all the services are running properly or not, we do some monitoring, automatic monitoring, that we will discuss Nagios for our monitoring. So based upon that monitoring, the feedback will be given to the user, and according to the feedback, the user may change the code. He may do some additional modifications, or he may do some changes. Then once he did the change, automatically the change is detected, and what happens? The Git will maintain the version as a second version, and once a new change is done, automatically Maven takes the code and it will compile the code, and it will apply the test case, and if it is okay, it will integrate, the Jenkins will take the code from the Maven and it will integrate to the existing environment, and once integration is perfect, that fully developed software will be taken by Chef or Ansible or Puppet, and it got implemented in the production. That is, you have continuous development, continuous compilation, continuous testing, so continuous integration, okay, continuous implementation in the production, and continuous monitoring. This cycle starting from development up to the implementation in production will be continuous. Okay, this is called DevOps. In this case, a developer may know what need to be done in the implementation operation. Yeah, sys operator will know what is done on the developer. Both the people work together. That is DevOps. To be a layman point of view, the DevOps engineer role is to make the task automated, starting from developer to implementation in the production. Yes, you no need to write any code. So the coding will be taken care by the developer. You need to configure in such a manner that to manage the code, to compile the code, to apply test case, to integrate with this existing code, and to implement in the production, and to monitor and get the feedback, and this cycle continues.
So basically, we are just maintaining a workflow or a run book.
Yeah.
You want to say?
Yes, the same thing. Run book. We call this as a run book.
Okay.
It is
Okay.
one of the most demanding thing. Okay, in today's IT, the combination of the cloud with DevOps is one of the most demanding thing. Similarly, the combination of cloud with this Hadoop or Spark in terms of admin. So big data administrators. Okay, the cloud with the AWS or Azure cloud with the admin is one of the most demanding thing. Similarly, we have big data analytics with reporting tools like Tableau. So nowadays industry is looking for a multidisciplinary expertise. They are not going up with yes.
Ramasar Chandran, you said cloud with AWS admin or Azure admin is more demanding?
So here, in terms of market share has been concerned, yeah, so infrastructure market is almost 60% is with AWS. Being your Hadoop cluster is, we are going to make use of infrastructure. So here AWS with Hadoop will add a little bit more value compared to that of AWS with Azure.
Okay. Then what is this cloud foundry? Cloud foundry somewhat, I mean, I heard it's an open source rather than AWS and Azure. I mean, can you clarify that, sir?
Yeah, we will talk this thing laterly. So if we talk this thing, these guys couldn't able to understand.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, no issue. Yes, any doubt? I think so. I had shared remaining people the curriculum. I will show you the curriculum for those who have. Please wait a while. AWS Certified Solution Architect. Okay, so which covers the following thing. So we'll start with this EC2, Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud. So using which you can get the needed infrastructure, you can get the needed servers. Here we will discuss about getting how to get a Windows server, how to get a Linux server, so how to get a database server, like all the servers, and how to secure the server. Okay, how to attach storage with the server. Okay, so how to configure firewalls in order to secure that, how to specify rules in the firewall, everything will be covered under the first section, Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud. So here in section 2, how you can interact with this AWS. You can interact with AWS in 3 ways. One, by using AWS Management Console, and second, by using a command line interface, and third, by using a API and SDKs, application programming interfaces. Here we will be as an administrator, we used to work across the two things, either a management console or using Amazon command line interface. Okay, CLI, we call this CLI, command line interface. The another method is by using APIs and SDK, software development kits. Okay, so how to configure this CLI, how to interact with using this AWS management console, those sort of things will be covered in this section 2. Then third thing, then in this section 2, you will be dealing with this introduction to CloudWatch, and how to configure alarms, how to manage your billing, okay, how to consolidate your billing, how to set an alarm which will alert you when your billing cost increase, your billing cost exceeds a particular boundary, a threshold. You can set a threshold so that my billing should be per month, it should be 500 rupees or 1000 rupees. If it is going to exceed 1000 rupees, or if it exceeds 1000 rupees, alert if you need to be given to you, then you need to set this billing alert to you. Those sort of things will be taught in section 2. Then the third section, we deal with the auto scaling. Okay, so auto scaling according to your workload, how to increase the load of your cluster. Okay, how to add additional hardware such as existing to the existing system, how to increase the CPU, how to increase your RAM memory, how to attach the additional hard disk. So if you have a surplus resources, how to relieve those resources, everything can be done by using the service called as auto scaling. So under auto scaling, then you will be setting alarms to add or to release the additional resources like the. So CloudWatch also comes integrated with the auto scaling. So these are all the things associated with section 3. Then ELB, elastic load balancing. Okay, if you have to redistribute your workload, if your workload increases beyond, for example, you may have, you are having a server with 1 microprocessor and 1 GB of RAM. Okay, here with this hardware configuration, it support up to, let me imagine this is a web server. The web server can able to tackle a workload of 1000 requests per second. If the number of requests increases to 1500, what happens here? If it is 1100 or 1200, the web server can able to tackle this additional load to some extent. But if it is beyond its capability, then it may get crashed. How to resolve this? You need to add additional resources. You need to add 1 microprocessor and additional 1 GB of RAM, so that you can able to tackle up to 2000 requests. So those things of adding the resources is taken care by the auto scaling. So if you have a server, single server, you can perform additional server. So this sort of adding the resources to the existing server, you call this as a vertical scaling. Whereas if you add additional server, so here 1 microprocessor, 1 GB RAM, server 1, you add another server, 1 microprocessor and another 1 GB RAM, and in effect of it, you want to configure a load balancer. So what are all the user requests? So it will be first received by the load balancer. The load balancer will redistribute the request to the both server evenly. Okay, so this auto scaling can be integrated with the load balancer. So here, so that 2000 requests can be satisfied. So if the number of requests increases to 2500, you can add additional servers. So you can go and add the servers, and the ELB will take the role of distributing the load evenly across these servers. Okay, these are all the things which is covered under section 4, real-time scenarios. These are all real-time scenarios. Elastic load balancing. We'll be configuring elastic load balancing for our database server, and we will be configuring elastic load balancer for our web server. Both the thing will be dealt. Okay. So then the another important thing, identity and access management, user access control, which is similar to Active Directory services in Windows. You can create a user and you can assign privileges to the user. You can assign policies to the user. What are all the services the user need to access? What sort of activity that you can do with the services? Like the user access control will be done by using IAM. And another important thing, section 6 deals with storage. You are dealing with all the 4 levels of storage. One is CBS, Elastic Block Store, then S3, Simple Storage Service, and Glacier, which is nothing but archival storage, and CloudFront, which is used for distributing your data in the web server. Okay, these are all 4 storages that we will be covering. Each and everything in a in-depth manner with live use cases, S3, and then Glacier, and then CloudFront. Then section 2 deals with the DNS, how to configure a DNS, domain name service, for your web server which you have launched in the AWS. For that, the service that we are going to make use of it, Amazon Route 53, which is a DNS service. And the section 7 deals with VPC. You can form your own cloud within Amazon cloud. Okay, that is called a virtual private cloud. Under virtual private cloud, you will be taught how to configure a separate network, how to configure a gateway, how to configure a router, how to configure a VPN, how to integrate your premises, okay, the data center in your premises with the resources associated with the cloud. Okay, so these are through means of VPN gateways. Everything will be covered under VPC. Okay, so then this cloud formation is a template. What are all the things that we did so far? So you can form a template, and this template can be reused, utilized anywhere according to your requirement. You can design, for example, you are going to design the following thing. Here you are going to create a VPC. So this VPC should contain 3 subnets, subnet 1, subnet 2, and subnet 3. Okay, the subnet is a public subnet. These 2 subnets, first subnet is a public subnet, under which you will be configuring a web server 1 and web server 2. These 2 subnets are private subnets. Okay, you will be configuring a database server 1, database server 2. Similarly, you have another private which contains your mail server, email server. Okay, so how to connect this private with this public? So here, how to connect with this external world, the public, using this internet gateway. Like everything that you can create a template, and what are all the configuration that you can need to do for configuring a web server, data server, and mail server, you can do with that. So whenever and then you can save this template. Whenever you need to implement the same thing, you just call the template and you run the template. Everything will be pre-configured. That is cloud formation. Okay, here Amazon cloud formation, which facilitate us to create a simulator like thing. Okay, everything will be coded, and you want to run the code, it will form the real-time environment. Okay, then another important thing, how to get the databases using a RDS, relational data store. Here we will be dealing with how to get a MySQL database, SQL Server database, and Oracle database, and how to connect with that. So this is one of the most important thing in terms of the solution architect has been concerned, RDS. And notification services. So in case if you add a server, in this scenario what we did, so we have added additional resources. You have a server, web server 1. Whenever the load increases, you will be adding additional web server, so automatically it can be added. So this additional server, adding of additional server need to be intimated to the administrator. How it can be intimated? Using this notification. You may send an email or you may send a SMS, simple notification services. So this is covered under this Amazon simple notification service. So this apart from that, you will be also taught this virtualization concept. Also because the back end of cloud is virtualization. Once you start with the cloud, then you will know what is the concept behind that, how virtualization helps us in achieving the resource scheduling in a dynamic manner. Okay, we will be dealing with VMware workstation, And what are all the admin level commands that is associated with the Linux admin will also taught with this curriculum. Okay, this is the curriculum associated with your AWS Solution Architect. If you have any clarification in this curriculum, please let me know. I will resolve your doubt. I will share this for those yet to receive the curriculum. Each and every curriculum we will be having a hands-on with real-time scenario. So you can create your own account. It will cost only 1 rupee. You need a credit card, and Amazon will charge only 1 rupee for the account. So I will let you know what are all the services that you need to use without paying anything. All the things that we have listed here can be done at free of cost, except 1 or 2. Okay, so you can practice, and if you are willing to appear for this certification, AWS Solution Architect, I will share you the terms along with the discussion. If anybody having doubt with respect to this curriculum, kindly let me know. Sadiq, Sanmuganathan, Subramanian.
This is Subramanian here.
Self. I am disturbing with this external background noise. Okay, so what is cloud? What do you mean by cloud? So cloud, the definition for cloud is it is on-demand delivery of IT resources via internet with pay-as-you-go pricing. What do you mean by that? On-demand delivery of IT resources. Okay, before going into that, let me make a small real-time use case, day-to-day example. Let me take an example of electricity. So for generating electricity, we need to establish some infrastructure. It may be a nuclear power plant. Let me take a nuclear power plant like Kudamkulam. Or it may be a Neyveli Lignite Corporation, okay, or it may be a Hydel power plant. Let me take this Kudamkulam nuclear power plant. So to establish the infrastructure, almost it was invested around 1,000 crores to establish the infrastructure. So here, whether we have paid anything to establish the infrastructure? No. So we didn't pay anything to establish this infrastructure. Being it is a government, we may pay some taxes. Let me take if it is a Reliance power station. Okay, a Reliance is also having a power station. In the Reliance infrastructure, we no need to pay anything to establish the infrastructure. First thing, no need of investment to establish the infrastructure. In case of failure to any one of the component in Kudamkulam power plant or in Reliance power plant, so being we are utilizing the services, whether we are responsible in debugging the issues, whether we are responsible in performing the maintenance and monitoring, no maintenance and no monitoring is vested with us. Okay, so we are not tied up with going for the maintenance and monitoring, and also we didn't invest anything to establish the infrastructure. What we did, we simply enjoy the electricity that is generated there at the power station. So we consume the electricity in form of metered service. What do you mean by metered service? To which extent that you are consuming, accordingly you need to pay for. For example, if you consume 100 units of electricity per month, you need to pay for accordingly. If you consume 1,000 units of electricity, you need to pay accordingly. If you went for a vacation on that month, if it doesn't consume anything, you no need to pay for it. Okay, so according to your consumption, you need to pay for. That is what that here it is represented, pay as you go pricing. To which extent that you consume, for that only you need to pay for. The key factor here is you no need to invest anything to establish the infrastructure, and there is no overhead like maintaining and monitoring the infrastructure. It will be taken care by the service provider. You as an end user will simply enjoy the service in form of a metered manner, okay, without bothering about the above set. The same thing which hold true for the telecommunication. Okay, so I am having a Airtel account with me. So I didn't invest anything for this infrastructure, for my telecommunication, such as I didn't invest anything to establish these towers, the switching stations, and I am also not responsible in performing maintenance and monitoring of this infrastructure. So whenever I need, I can make a call with my friend and I can talk to which extent that I am talking, I need to pay for. If I talk for 1 minute, I need to pay 10 paise, 20 paise. If I talk for 2 minutes, I need to pay. If I give a missed call, I no need to pay anything. So according to my utilization, I need to pay for without bothering about this initial cost of investment to establish the infrastructure and without bothering about this maintenance and monitoring overhead. So similar to that of your electricity, similar to that of your telecommunication, if you can able to do the same thing for all your computing needs, you can get this computing need in sense, you can get the hardware, you can get the software, you can get the networking and internetworking devices as a service. You no need to pay for anything. As of your telecommunication, as of your electricity, you can get all your computing as a service. Computing as a service. This is called as cloud computing. Okay, so now we will make it with a small example. So here I am having a laptop, okay, with i3, 4 GB of RAM, with 1 terabyte of storage, and my operating system is Windows 7. This is my hardware and this is my current software. So I got a project from this freelancer site. Okay, let me make. I got a project, which involves a huge volume of data that I am going to do some machine learning or some image processing applications. I am going to work with some image processing applications. For my project, I need a server, a higher-end server with 8 microprocessor, Intel Xeon processor, 64 gigabytes of memory, and 10 terabyte of storage. These are all my hardware requirements. And in terms of my software, I need a Windows Server 2016 with Oracle 12c as my database. Okay, so this is my requirement according to my project. So the compensation that I will receive is 5 lakhs. If I did this project and submit to the client successfully, my compensation will be 5 lakhs. Then the project duration is 3 months. Let me take this use case. This is the 3 months. Currently that I am having a machine i3 4 GB 1 terabyte of with Windows 7 as my operating system. So, but my project requirement is I need to go for a higher end server with the above set configuration. Can anyone let me know what would be the cost of this server? So here a normal i3 4 GB which comes under 30,000. If we go for it is almost 8 times the processor, 12 times the RAM memory and 10 times the hard disk. It comes around roughly 3 to 4 lakhs, and the above said Windows server with the Oracle will comes with 1 lakh. So if you go for a procurement of a physical server along with the needed software, you need to invest 5 lakhs. How much that you will get as a compensation for completing this project? It will 5 lakhs. If you invest 5 lakhs for your infrastructure and you will be left out with nothing for your 3 to 4 months of work, you will be left out with nothing. Okay. So this is the drawback associated if you go for procuring a physical hardware in this particular scenario. What you can do? So instead of purchasing this server, you can get the server from a cloud. You can build the server from a public cloud like Amazon or from Azure, okay, or from IBM cloud, any cloud, from any cloud vendors, you can get the server and you can connect with the server from. So here I am in Madurai. The server may be in US, the data center US. I can connect with the server and I can work with the server as if that I am sitting in front of it. So here, to which extent that I am consuming, for that only I need to pay for. Let me make it a cost comparison. So per day, I am going to work with the server for 5 hours, let me imagine. So my project duration is 3 months. So let me make it for 90 days. So 5 into 90 days, which comes under 450 hours. Let me make it to round off to 500 hours. I need this server with the above set configuration for my development only for 500 hours. Okay, after that I may or I may not need. So how much I need to pay for these 500 hours of utilization? If I go and procure a physical server, I need to pay up to 5 lakhs. Whereas if I get the same resources from cloud, so this resource will cost roughly 30 rupees per hour in Indian rupees. Then into 500 means you need to spend only 15,000 rupees. Okay, for using this above set server for 500 hours, you need to invest only 15,000 rupees. So that after that you can destroy this server. You can release the server. So this is the way by which you can get the server from the Amazon or any other public cloud. Then you can make a connection with the server using internet, and you can work as if that you are sitting in front of it. That is explained here. Okay. Here cloud computing means on-demand delivery. What do you mean by on-demand? Whenever you need, you can get the services. What service that you get? You can get all the IT resources. The resources may be a hardware, it may be a software, or it may be a networking, or it may be a internet networking. Any resource that you can get it. Where the resources will be? The resources will be in a location called as data center. In the data center, you will be having a higher end servers, you will be having storage, you will be having all the associated softwares. Where you are, you may be in your own premises. Then how you can make a connection with this data center? Whether you need any sophisticated device, whether you need any specialized software to make use of the resources from the data center which is owned by a cloud service provider? No. What you need is, you need a device which support a web browser. That is sufficient enough. Okay, you need a device which support a web browser. It may be a desktop computer, or it may be a laptop computer, it may be a tablet, or even if your mobile will support a web browser, that is sufficient enough. Okay, so from your system which support a web browser, using an internet connection, you can connect with the data center, and you can create the needed server according to your requirement, and you can connect with the server, and you can work as if that you are sitting in front of it. Okay, to which extent that you are using? If you are using one day, Monday you are using for 5 hours, then you need to pay for 5 hours. Tuesday if you used it for 10 hours, you need to pay for 10 hours. Wednesday you are leave, you are not using anything, then you no need to pay anything. So according to your utilization, that you need to pay, that is pay as you go pricing. What you need? You need an internet connection. Whether you need any specialized device? No. You can make use of any device which support the web browser. This is what a cloud computing. Okay, I think so. Now you have some idea about what is cloud computing. Then what are all the things that you can get from cloud computing, and then what device that you need in your client side to make a connection with the data center. So then how to make a connection. So now I got connected with this Amazon data center. You can find out. So the Amazon data center to which I got connected. These are all the services currently offered by Amazon. This is my account. Raman is my account, and these are all the data centers. Now I got connected to a data center, US East North Virginia. Okay. So in India, so Amazon is having data center throughout the world across 16 regions. In India, they have a data center at Mumbai. So this is what with respect to a cloud computing. In terms of cloud has been concerned, we have public cloud, we have private cloud, and combination of public and private cloud we call as a hybrid cloud. And these are all the some of the commonly offered services: infrastructure as a service, a platform as a service, software as a service, database as a service, storage as a service, Hadoop as a service, networking as a services. So there are a lot and lot of services. In terms of Amazon, the services have been organized under compute service, development tool, storage as a service, management. All these are CloudWatch, CloudTrail. They are all management tools, and mobile services, and database as a services, networking as a services, security and identity compliances, user access control as a services, messaging as a services. Okay, now these are all the current thing: artificial intelligence, IoT, everything is provided as a services. Okay, so the prominently used services here are infrastructure, software, platform, database, and storage as a services. Now everyone is making use of Hadoop as a services. Okay, what is public cloud? The services, the data center need to be invested by the service provider, similar to that of your Reliance, Airtel, BSNL. We have cloud service provider. They are Amazon, Salesforce, Rackspace, Microsoft Azure, IBM, Oracle, VMware, almost all vendors, whether they are famous for softwares or networking or servers, now they are in cloud business because of widespread opportunity associated with cloud. That is called public cloud. The private cloud is
Raman sir.
Yes.
Raman, Chandran here.
Yes.
What is the difference between platform as a service and infrastructure as a service? Both seems to be same, right?
No. Platform as a service is different from infrastructure as a service. Infrastructure as a service sense, you will be getting the needed servers. For example, you are looking for a Ubuntu machine, okay, with 2 microprocessor, 4 GB of RAM. So this thing that you can get it as infrastructure as a service. You are going to develop an application. You are going to develop an application, okay, a banking application. Let me make it a banking application. For that, what are all the things that you need? You need a server. Then you need a programming language. You need some additional tools and services. For example, if you are going to host it under a web, you need services like HTTP. Apache web server need to be configured. You are going to make use of a programming tool, either a Java or .NET or Python like tool, and you need some hardware associated with this. All that thing togetherly we call this as a platform as a service. Platform.
No, generally, the Java and all that comes under software as a service, right?
No. Software as a service means fully developed software. So here you want to develop the own software. You will be given the needed environment. You will be given the needed language. The associated services will be given. You want to write your own code.
Okay, that comes under infrastructure. Infrastructure.
Platform as a service.
Okay, platform as a service. Software as a service. Everything is a
infrastructure as a service. Software as a service means so already built software. So if you want to go for taking a shirt, there are 2 ways that you can take a shirt. One, you can go to the cloth shop. You can purchase the cloth. Then you can go to the tailor shop. You can instruct the tailor. You need a full hand. You need 2 pockets. Okay, like this, the tailor will stitch according to your requirement. This is platform as a service. The second thing, you can go directly to a ready-made shop. Then here you may have shirts, a white shirt, blue shirt, a full and half hand. What shirt that you are interested, you can get this set. That is a software as a service. Someone may have did all the things, and according to your interest, you are picking that. Whereas platform as a service, you want to do by yourself. Yes.
Understood, sir.
Yeah.
Excellent. Understood. Excellent.
நீங்க சட்டை போய் நீங்க வாங்கணும் அப்படின்னா நீங்க ரெடிமேட் கடையில போய் வாங்குற சட்டை வந்து சாஃப்ட்வேர் as a சர்வீஸ் எல்லாமே ஒருத்தர் ரெடி பண்ணி உங்களுக்காக வச்சிருக்கிறார். நீங்களா போய் துணியை எடுத்து டெய்லர்கிட்ட போய் தச்சு இது பண்றது பிளாட்ஃபார்ம் as a சர்வீஸ்.